Unsurprisingly, I don't think many of you are going to be shocked to know this, but a prison is full of alarms. It's like an alarm factory. They're everywhere. Always poised, always on edge, like a speed freak. Been up for days, jumpy as hell, waiting to scream at the slightest provocation. Literally, a gust of wind. Ah! Um, yeah, in prison, guess what? Alarms are everywhere. Only in prisons though. There are other alarms in other premises, but I presume they're called other things, like a school would have a school alarm, a car would have a car alarm, and so on. But in prison, guess what? I'm going to say it again, alarms are everywhere. Do you know what? Certain screws, they love to push the bell, don't they? Like, the bell is there for an emergency, isn't it? The bell, in all seriousness, alarms, they're dotted everywhere. You know, just imagine if there's 4 or 5 landings, 50 cells or whatever, probably more, to a landing. You've got to have, what, 2 screws per landing. There's going to be alarms on either side every so often, isn't there? You know what I mean? So they can literally push them wherever. And you've got that strip as well. There's like a strip that goes along the wall. If you lean on it, it's going to set the alarm off. Like thin strip that goes along. Yeah. So basically, do you know what? I can fully remember at certain, because I know like whistles are an old thing from back in the day yet, but I can remember certain times that jails have had whistles, and even they got abused. I'm sure if that was meant to be like, I'm in distress, come this way. Not if an inmate walks past and says, "Suck your mum." I say, "What?" But yeah. Honestly though, there can be some days when a cell bell, it seems like the cell bell goes off every 10 minutes, and it can disrupt, like, it disrupts your day like you wouldn't believe. Like, it can, when it goes off like that all the time, especially on your own wing, when every time it goes off, you've got to bang up. So, the fight's gone on, alarm's gone off, everyone has to bang up. Even if the fight's over, everyone has to bang up. I'm not really sure why. If you're serious, depending on the severity of the fight, or I say fight, anything could have happened. Depending on the severity of it, you might not get let back out. Or if you've got a not very nice senior officer on the wing, SO, you might just think, they've only got 25 minutes left. They don't need it. It's meaningless soch. Yeah, then you're banged up then, isn't it? You're banged up all day, or you could be banged up all night. So, best thing to do at that stage is when the alarm's going off and they're telling everyone to bang up, go in someone's cell, isn't it? Your mate's cell, the geezer's cell that's got something that you need to take off. You know what I mean? Yeah, because you might literally, they might, if the incident is bad enough again, they'll feed you at the door, take food to your door. So food will be put on trays and they'll just wheel it round to your door. That's why it's best to work on a servery for those sort of things, because you'll still be let out. You'll be pushing the food to the door and serving it. And honestly, you're not gonna, if you've never been in prison before and you're thinking you're gonna get in trouble for being caught in another cell, you're not, because the alarm's gone off. Technically, you're meant to just get behind any door, and the screws have got to deal with it. So if they don't see you for another 2-3 hours, where have you been? We've been looking for you. And I've done it before. I've done it a couple of times. I've been here the whole time. You put me in the thing. Well, we've been calling you. We've come round. You searched. Well, I've only been sitting on bunk bed, hiding, screwed up like a ball every time you walk past. But what? Put a towel over, put a towel there so you can't see. But what do you want me to do? Do that in Pentonville. But they wouldn't even know most of the time. They genuinely wouldn't even know most of the time. Most of the time we would do that, go in someone's cell and just stay there from like morning till lunch, or lunch till dinner, or yeah, no, from movements till dinner. You know what I mean? Just stay. So the screws would never like they're meant to do a count after movements. I don't know what they was doing. Maybe they were not illiterate. Maybe they were just rubbish at maths. Right. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. And you've got to imagine, if you was in a situation, right? Sometimes, and I've seen it, I'm going to give you an example of when an officer gets in trouble and looks at an inmate to help, yeah? Looks at an inmate. So the screw will be getting in trouble, maybe getting an alleged beating or whatever, and look at the inmate, look at you and go, push the bell. You got to make your choice, didn't you? you got to either gallop over to that, stick your chin out, head up higher, just gallop over to that alarms, and what? Or you got to just pretend you're combing your hair and in the reflection in the banister outside the cells. What? Then you drop something on the floor. Yeah. In Pentonville, I'm on the bio team, right? Bio team, cleaning up biohazardous waste, bodily fluids mainly. Good money, high risk, you know what I mean? So, and you're out your cell all day long. I'm out my cell all day long. Get to float around the prison, lovely. Me and this geezer get called out to do a bio. Yeah, there was like on the bio, there's 4 of you. Only ever 4 of you. Back in when I was there anyway, there was 4 of you. You know, there's only ever 2 of you to go off to do one, so very rare is there like 2 at the exact same point. You've got to go 2 over there, 2 over there. Very rare. But sometimes there's a big one, like, and you might need 3 or 4 of you. Dirty job, yeah, like I said, but it's a good pay, right? Me and this particular day, me and this geezer from he's from Fulham, yeah. Funny geezer, mate. Proper piss taker, yeah. But you'll have a laugh if you're with him, right? You've got to have thick skin because he'll rip the piss out of you, yeah. He's one of them as well. You'll give it back, but he'll come back and annihilate you with whatever you, and just make you look like divs, yeah. But it's funny, and it's all fun and games. And if you do have the odd time that you do have one over on him and mug him off, he takes it like he dishes it out, so he takes it. You know what I mean? But if you can take it like that, if you like those sort of laughs, you're up for a giggle, yeah. He's with me, right? And some of the people that go on these bios, and I was a Bix cleaner as well, yeah. So, and I was an assessor, so I teach people how to do it. So every now and again, if there was like a site to be cleaned in another part of the jail, they would just get one of us to go and do it instead of paying someone. Like I was a professional doing it for slave wages. So like every now and again, you get a right little Joey that thinks by doing it to the book and taking 10 hours to do one job that he's going to get brownie points and get parole or something. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? And me as the assessor, I'm going, listen, don't worry about dragging the wire through the fucking water, you moron. Just hurry up. Anyway, I'm getting off the point, man. This geezer for Fulham weren't nothing like that. We trotted over to the wing, and what wing was it? I think it was D wing, or it was C wing, maybe. Yeah, one of them wings. We go over there, yeah. There's blood in the cell. I don't know what happened. A little bit of blood outside. That gets dealt with quick. We go in the cell, and when I say job, there's people that are jobs with you. I didn't invent this move, right? And I don't encourage anyone to do it. I regret it to this day. if you got called on a bio, we thought it was a perk at the time, and I'm thinking back in the day when I had a different head on, different hat. One of the perks was for these 4 bio workers, I was one, if you went to a cell and had to clean, well, it wasn't a perk, it was part of the job. Whatever had blood on it had to go in the bin, had to go in the yellow bag. Yellow biohazardous bag, bagged up, chucked in the yellow bin. That was parked up outside Bix. Obviously, if it was expensive or if it was delicious, we said it had blood on it and it went in the yellow bag, back to the ring and split. You know what I mean? Tunas, burn, toiletries, biscuits, whatever, trainers, Panasonic, Cobra, mate. And the good thing was as well, yeah, the screw that worked at Bix always sided with you. I was like, what if it's got blood on it? Let them have it. They've got to chuck it in the bin. What this geezer's sound system? You're letting them chuck it in the bin. Take, yeah. Bang outers. I'm not laughing at doing that, at thieving out people's pads, mate. It was a disgusting thing. But we looked at it as a perk, and every single person did, straight up. And it was mainly, you know what I mean? It was mainly, there was mainly blood on things. If you went into a cell and there was a flick of blood, you would just exaggerate it. But also, if you walked into a cell and see 20 tunas, happy days. Fucking 10 ounces, come on, I don't care what anyone says. You're scum for taking out of the cell. Alright, yeah, alright. 10 packets of snout, 25 tunas, 50 milks up at the window. You're not going to have a go. 10 Radoxes, come on. Drawer full of stamps, you're not going to fucking, come on. Anyway, we were in the cell, pillaging, cleaning. Really, there should have only been one of us in the cell, because you've got a clean man and you've got a dirty man, and if you're a professional, you know that, yeah? If you're a bio worker, once you're in the dirty area, you can't go and contaminate everywhere else to go and collect your bits. Geezer will be standing there we'll be standing there with his notepad, ticking off all the things you're doing right, and handing you stuff. So, clean man, dirty man. And you'll be handing him dirty, well, you won't be, he'll be standing there. His job will be to hand you stuff, write stuff down in a clipboard, and stand there with a bin bag, and you'll be putting shit in it. Good job being a clean man. But, for whatever reason, we was both in there pillaging. Just trying to get the job done quick. Who cares if we spread it about a bit, whatever's in here. All of a sudden, like there's like a scuffle outside the cell. It's like a screw and 2 prisoners just like stumble past, just like the prison officer he's not coming out well, you know what I mean? So we're like, obviously you can't help it, can you? You're like, wait, what's going on out here? Both of us go out there, tunas down your trousers and all. We're not doing nothing, having a look and all that. And it's not so like, I don't know if he's escorting these 2 prisoners to the cell, from the cell, pad mates, whatever. But he's losing this fight, yeah, and he's sort of like, on his back, sort of looking at me and him going, help! Help, push the bell, push the bell, push the bell. It's me and matey from Fulham, yeah? And he looks at me, he's light-skinned fella, yeah? He looks at me and goes, blood, you better push that bell. When he walks off, he goes into the cell, he just walks off and went back into the cell, as if he went to clean. I was just standing there on my own now, I was like, just walked off and left him. He's going, help, help! Like, and I've just walked off, got in the cell as well, yeah? We're like, what do you want to do? He just shut the door. Just shut the door and went, we can't do shit. So, oh, that's sweet. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway, screws come, blah, blah, blah. We didn't actually see what happened there from there, yeah? But, you know, nothing like that goes unpunished. Alarms do go off. Screws come, boys get twisted up. Probably get a severe twisting up. And I've seen it when people have hit screws, and well, not seen them personally, but they've had both arms in the cast afterwards. You know what I mean? So you know. But anyway, this didn't happen that time. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. And the screw generally went to me afterwards, like me and matey. Why didn't you help me? He was like, what? Why didn't you help me? What are you on about? Well, I'm writing this in the thing. It's a red entry. Like a red entry is like they get the red pen out, write it in your file like it means anything. What are you on about? Help you? Well, we didn't help you say help you. We're here to clean. We're not screws. This is what he's saying. I ain't got to say nothing, yeah? Jenny ain't got to say nothing. Matey from Fulham is jumping all over this geezer. We ain't here. We ain't screws. We're here to help you. It's true, isn't it? Anyway, this screw. Generally, when I told our boss, the other screw, the safe screw, and even he's like, well, why didn't you push the bell? What? So why didn't you push the bell? So we've got to go back on the wing. We was having this argument with him, a debate. We've got to go back on the wing. People are going to call us grasses. You're off your head. So yeah, but you're trusted prisoners. You're this, you're that. I can't remember if this was... There was a time, there was a geezer a few years ago that escaped from Pentonville. I was there at the time, and I was on the bio team, and he went out through the gym, and and they started saying you got to be a red band, like a trusted prisoner, to have any sort of job that means walking around the jail. And I wasn't a red band, and I was about to get the sack from that job, and then this screw come, like the bit my boss come forward and just got me because he'd been there for a few years, and he got me a red band. So he done me a few favours over these, and I can't remember if he had already got me the red band at this point. But he's like, well, if I was in trouble, I couldn't rely on you. We're like, listen, we're prisoners. We're prisoners, and you're an officer, yeah. And no matter how much we like, and there's going to be people that might be even thinking I'm wrong, like. But no matter how much we like him, at that specific time as well, we're on G-Wing in Pentonville. If no one's ever heard of G-Wing Pentonville, I mean, Google it. You know what I mean? People, and everyone's calling us grasses for helping a screw. No way. I would have rather have lost my job. And felt really bad for the screw, even if I really liked the screw, felt really bad for him. Then hit the bell. But yeah, I actually see a prisoner hit the bell before. Chelmsford, servery. We was working on the servery, and oh mate, this geezer was a big geezer, and I'm talking like a unit, like I don't know how many stone this geezer was, 20, 21. We used to go to gym together, yeah. We never used to work out together. We used to go to gym at the same time. Worked out with him a couple of times. I generally see him just doing as warm-ups, 50s. They only went up to 50s in Chelmsford, yeah. 50 kilogram dumbbells on his shoulders. Just no other warm-up weights. Just bang, 50, and fuming, like being pissed off. That's all they had. This geezer was a beast, mate. Nicest geezer in the world, though. Yeah. And he used to tick burn, like tick tobacco, double bubble back, or do it for cash or whatever. He used to prefer to do it for canteen, which was handy. Yeah, so people used to take the piss out of him all the time. He was like a gentle giant, genuinely like a gentle giant. But when he snapped, and he did it a couple of times, and he would do it out of the blue. Say like someone had took the piss out of him for a month, and he'd sort of let it go, ha ha ha, and the anger building up. Then some poor bastard would have bumped him for like a week. Still a mug off, but now he's taking his anger out on matey. You know what I mean? And that's what he was. He was sweet as a nut though, yeah. Sweet as a nut. Never been in jail before, and I think he ended up getting a 4.5, if I remember. I think he ended up getting a 4 or 4.5. Never been in jail before though. I was always worried about how long he was going to get. Thought he was going to get much longer than what he got. Always worried about how long he was going to get. Behaved, but he ticked bird and all that, but he behaved on the old when he was on the servery and blah blah blah. We'd be on the servery one day. people are coming through, you know, and people like the screw stands at the end of the surgery. Well, sometimes it stands at the... Well, it'd be a bit silly if you stand at the fucking... No, he was. The screw stand at the end of the surgery. People come through at the front. They can see the screw there. Boom, what you got there. Coming through like that. Geezer's coming along. I can't remember what the beef was. But the problem was, I'm not a B, I'm an A. No, you're not. You know, can I have another sausage? You can't, or whatever it was. You know what I mean? He was arguing with a screw about something. I can't remember. And it was usually about that. It's usually, well, I didn't order that. And I'm not sticking up for no officers here, but usually it's because they look at it and they think, God, that looks a bit ropey. I'll just pretend I ordered something else. And you can't blame them. I've done it. But anyway, it is what it is. He's arguing. He's ended up fighting a screw, innit, yeah? Like, chin the screw and fucking got him in a headlock and ragging him about like a rag doll. The screw's gone, push the bell, push the bell. Who's standing there? But the gentle giant, yeah, he's just sort of leaning on the wall. We're all standing there. So when he said push the bell, like just leant back against against the sink as if that meant we couldn't hear him. Like what? What? We're so far away now. What? We've moved the foot. What? Poor old matey. Screws looked at him, sort of said it again, stuck it right on him, like push the bell, push the bell, push the bell. He's like, no, mate, what a thing to do. What a thing to do. As he's done it, like, his notes talking about faces, like, but he's like, well, what would you have done? What would you have done? He's instantly turned. He's instantly turned on the shit. He's instantly turned. No one said a word to him. He's like, what would you have done? The alarm's going off now. Poor old geezer's like a pretzel, you know what I mean? Legs over his head. His arms hanging off the lights, you know what I mean? Ah, I'm sorry. He won't say sorry. I'm not saying the geezer will say sorry. Instantly turned on us, yeah? What would you have done? What would you have done? Blah, blah, blah. Now, in another jail at another time, or if there were other people there that might turn ugly, yeah? People might have switched on this geezer, yeah? But this geezer was massive, mate. He was massive, and I think he did it instinctively, yeah. He did it instinctively. He went, but, and instinctively, like he got angry because he knew. He got angry straight away because he's thinking, no, what have I done? And we were all like, oh, what did you do that for? What the hell? Like, people are gonna say you're a snitch. Well, let him say it. I'll let him say it to my face. Then is that? No one's going to say it to your face. No one will say it to your face. I'm not going to say it to your face. And for a brief second, I thought you was a snitch. But I remembered, I need burn later. I need tobacco, so come on, mate, you'll be alright. I've got your back. No one can see me if I stand behind you anyway. Anyway, if you like that, hit the subscribe and we'll chat later. Adios.